Hello everyone, my name's Seth, I'm Botanist Cool. Today I'm here with the Ace Attorney expert herself,
Katie.
So we are going to have a little bit of a shorter Ace Attorney stream today, but I'll be doing some stuff afterwards and we'll see what's going to happen then. But yeah, let's get right on into it. It's 7 years ago. We don't know what the fuck's happening for 7 years ago. Katie knows what the fuck's happening for 7 years ago. All we know is that Shady Smith and Shady Enigma are definitely the same person. They have to be. Hi Edward, hi BootTube. We know that something's gonna happen so that this guy can't be arrested, because he said they literally cannot arrest me. It sounds like he's gonna do a magic trick. Maybe he'll make the entire state, maybe they make the entire courthouse disappear, like fucking someone Mothman. Let me get my Mothman fucking poncho. Give me a second. It's on the other side of the room. Mothman. Mothman. I should get a Mothman emote one day. That'd be great. So there's that, and we know that we are gonna get a piece of forged evidence because, well, at least it's not been stated explicitly, but I feel like we're gonna get a piece of forged evidence. But it's kind of been stated explicitly because they're like, oh yeah, 7 years ago I made forged evidence for like a case or something. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
Yeah, you get me. You know what's happening. I have a feeling Katie's gonna be like, Steph, you're getting a little too close. Now I have to like make it go the other way. Katie's gonna like put false breadcrumbs out there, like.
Oh, I don't need to do that. I do that enough accidentally.
Mothman. Let's go. Oh, what was your voice? Very impressive, Mr. Wright. I have to say I expected nothing less. We've only just begun. I was hoping you could tell me a bit more about what happened, actually. I did not think you would believe me if I told you. Better that you discovered the truth for yourself. What was the truth again? I forgot. Righto, okay, yeah. Dude got shot. When he shot the doll instead of shooting the dude in the head. Righto, that's what happened. I was thinking of you, you know. I think we need less thinking and more talking. That night in the hospital, what really happened? Ah, the way your eyes gleam, Mr. Wright. Such a handsome man. If there was anyone I'd want to take care of my daughter, it would be you, Mr. Wright. Excuse me, yeah, okay. What? Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch-ass motherfucker. You'll scare Trucy. Oh my god. Speaking of which, where is she? You have seen the problem yourself, the letter. The one who the one shot in the forehead one, right? Yes. And the reason he spoke of. I could not deny my mentor's wishes, even if it meant my own death. Why not? This is something I will not say for now, at least. Let me continue to string you along so that you can suffer in the courtroom instead of actually having an easy time. Is that a holster on his waist?
Yeah.
Is a gun supposed to go there?
I think there's a gun right there.
Is there?
Is that not a gun right there?
It looks like something that goes on top of it. It looks like a strap.
Well, a strap and then the gun is in the holster, right? Or no?
I mean, there's a little brown gold thing. I don't know if that's the gun itself. I feel like it's on top of the. All right. Either way. It looks like the pistol itself is gold, isn't it? Or. Yeah, but like it's not.
Court record, like open up court record. See, it's like gold and a brown handle.
Okay, no, you're right. That is. He's just carrying a gun into court.
As one does.
This guy's just like, oh my god, this definitely takes place in America. They think this is a Japanese game? Nah, this takes place in America. That's the only place.
Nah, because they probably don't even recognize that's a gun. The judge is probably just like, oh yes, what a beautiful ornament.
What a beautiful ornamental, like, a busybody toy, you know what I'm saying? It's like bringing a goboloy, and they're like, oh, what is that? It's like, oh, you know, it's just to keep my fingers busy. Like, it's like a spinny pen, you know what I'm saying? Like those pens that are specifically made for spinning.
A fidget spinner.
A fidget spinner. What's this for now business? I have done many things in my life. Well, some well, some poorly. But this is a cross we must bear alone to our graves. We? You wanted to know about the night of the incident. Finally, this guy sure likes to take his time getting to the point. Of course, I had no intention of shooting my mentor. All right, it's all over. Get back in. I think Bailiff just comes on by.
Right? It's like 10-minute recess. You get 30 seconds.
I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time. And found there upon his bedside table 2 pistols. 2? I was about to ask, 2? Yes, the one I had to use on stage, and the one that had been used by my partner, Volant. Oh, for Zach and Volant's quick draw thing. My mentor had the look of one sleeping. I stood by his bedside, hearing only the light sound of his breathing. Then I took the pistol into my hand. I cannot deny that my resolve faltered then for a moment. You faltered? You mean you thought about shooting him? Recall there was a reason I could not refuse his request. His last such request, though not his first. So there were other requests you couldn't refuse before. To be honest, I've not always been steadfast, and I fear I've brought pain onto Trucy. Was Magnifi coercing his disciple somehow? Just what was going on in the Troop Grimari? Wait, he's not mentioned that lady who's been in the group. Like, there was this lady that we saw in the advertising pictures. He's not mentioned her, and that doesn't sound right. Like, it sounds like there's supposed to be a whole slew of people here, you know what I'm saying? And it feels like we're missing one person. I feel like we're missing her, and she has like some key information or some shit. Yet, in the end, I did not shoot him. Instead, I turned and shot the clown. I took the pistol I had fired and placed it in my pocket. In your pocket? I believe if you examine the bullet in the clown's head, you will find it to be different than the one in my mentor. What are those called? Rifling marks? Yes, the fingerprints of the gun. Well, that is all I have to tell you concerning the case. Concerning the case? You mean there's something else you can tell me? You're a fascinating man, Mr. Wright. Thanks? Yes, there is something. My mentor, his eyes opened. What? Magnifi Grimari? The old devil, he was not asleep, you see. Of course, the gunshot would have woken him up anyways. And there we had our last discussion as mentor and pupil. It was not a long discussion, maybe 5-10 minutes or so. And no one rushed in after hearing the gunshot in the fucking hospital. Are you kidding me? What did you talk about? Mr. Wright, did I not just tell you? It does not concern this case. It probably does. Zachramari.
Yeah, take my word for it, bro.
Dude, I promise you. He just told me that Volant is going to come in 5 minutes and kill him. Because I failed. And he's going to disown me forever. No big deal. Zachramari, he seems pretty steadfast. Elijah, hey yo, Wee Mothman, Elijah, Wee Mothman. How are you doing, Elijah? Guys, if you haven't already, go give Elijah some love over on the Tumblrs and the Twitters and the Twitches. Did I not put your Tumblr on here. God damn it. I'll put your Tumblr on there later. You just got back from Bakotel? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You went to the anime world and got some Bakotel? Did you get McDonald's too? Or Kurger Bing? I don't What is the anime version? It got a pink gin?
I only know McDonald's. I don't know anything else.
Pink gin.
Pink gin.
Pink gin. Oh, the drink.
Sorry, I just popped into chat to see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like Pete Gin. What the fuck is a Gin? I've never heard of Gin. Like Gin. It's like the GIF, but with I instead. Gin or Gin. No, it's actually the same thing. It's Gin or Gin.
Gin.
This man can't read. That's so fucking true. Remember, guys, it's not GIF or GIF. It's glyph. Mr. Wright, your presence is requested in the courtroom. Once again, I'm in your hands. All right, let's get back in there. God, if only I could read. You know how powerful I'd be if I could read?
Extremely powerful.
Court is now back in session.
During our recess, a bullet was found in and dug from the clown's head.
Well, this is news in the rifling works.
There wasn't time to do a detailed analysis, though they did find the weapon type matches the murder weapon.
Well, that's not very conclusive, is it?
Couldn't be. Yeah, he wouldn't be stopped. He couldn't be. Yeah, exactly. If I could read...
I love how they're like, there wasn't enough time to do an analysis. Anyhow, moving on. Should we delay the court a day? No.
Like, how long does the analysis take? 10 minutes, Your Honor, not even. Like, you know, it's a little bit long for my takes.
You gave me a 10-minute recess. How long would this take? It'd take an hour. Well, I guess we have to continue the case.
Your Honor, you know, I'm going to stretch this out by at least 2 or 3 hours by nitpicking everything. May as well just get a sent in the meantime. No, too soon. We don't need any of that. Which is why I'm about to call my very decisive witness. Your decisive witness? How many times have I heard those words? Though they often turn out to be far less decisive than you think. Oh, don't worry on my account. I'm quite confident this witness will do the job. After all, he is intimately acquainted with the players in our little production. Being the other half of the group... I have to fucking deal Volant. Being the other half of the troup's Grimare famous duo, Zack and Volant. Volant Grimare. So we get to meet the great Magnifi's other disciple. Perhaps we'll start by asking your name and occupation. Valid Grimare, magician.
You're the same witness, are you? You can follow how should your partners go.
Fate, the grand illusion filled with traps and tricks. Wait. The shooting took place in the hospital after 11 o'clock at night. If you're a witness, does that mean you were there that late? If one were to deduce this, logically the conclusion is yes. Okay. I always get the characters, don't I? That's putting it really nicely, Phoenix. That's putting it really nicely.
I don't think there's a single normal person in this entire country.
I'm gonna think for one. I'm gonna think.
Apollo is maybe the closest.
Apollo's pretty close to normal.
Phoenix
Mia?
is only normal because he grew out of his weird girl phase.
His weird girl. Mia might be. You could probably consider Mia normal.
Mia's pretty normal. She is a ghost for most of the series,
yeah.
But you know what? When she was alive, pretty normal.
Comparatively to everyone else, she's normal. Even though she is a ghost.
A descendant of a famous spirit medium. Wait, never mind.
Who else was normal? When we saw Misty Faye. Again, she calls spirits into her body and does a whole bunch of psychic stuff. But like, comparatively, normal. Why are the wildest people, like, who would be in this world, be the wildest people, be the most normal in this one? I bet you the Orca is actually the most normal person in this entire fucking series.
I'm trying to think. Actually, you know who's probably, unfortunately, the most normal?
Who?
Pain.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I see exactly where you're coming from with this. He's just kind of like an arrogant little guy. He's just an arrogant guy with balding hair. I feel you.
No, comparatively, out of the list of prosecutors we have,
He's the most normal prosecutor.
He's on the side that doesn't, like, physically harm you.
Yeah, each one does kind of physically harm you. Except for Edgeworth.
Edgeworth and Clavier also don't harm you. Edgeworth does emotional damage.
Exactly.
But that's okay.
I was gonna say the emotional damage where Edgeworth is like, is like the shit, you know?
Yeah. Like, there's a list of, like, best ones to go against. It's like Clavier, number 1, because the emotional damage, very, very low comparatively.
Exactly. And all he does is flirt with Apollo the entire time. So it's fine. 2 would be Edgeworth. 3, Baroque. 4, what's his name? Red Eyes. Black Dragon. God, who's got the red eyes again? What's his name? Mr. Coffee and Jazz? Mia's former teacher? If you muted, I can't hear you.
Sorry, what did you say again?
Well, who's the guy with the red eyes again? What's his name?
Oh, Godot.
Godot, and then Francisco. I want to face Francisco. Oh, you know, Von Karma's last. He does tase you. He does legitimately tase you and kill defense attorneys.
In the evidence, only in the evidence locker room, though.
Yeah, surrounded by police officers. You know, no big deal.
Not like that. Let's see. Francisca, yeah, she'd be rough. As much as I love her.
Second to last is where I'd put her and where I'd want to see her. I do know that in the future there is a prosecutor on like death row or something. And then a psychic dude. And that's all I know about the future prosecutors.
Yeah, we'll get to them. I don't know if we'll be going to 5 after this or if we'll be going investigations after this, but
I have, you see, an interesting fact for you. You see, several days before the crime, my witness received this.
That looks very familiar.
Wait. That's the same letter Zachramare received. Yes, or perhaps I should say, ta-da!
Order. What does it say? Surely not the same thing.
Perhaps you should see for yourself. To my beloved student Volant, I trust you with the task of lowering my life's curtain. Come on the 13th, 11:20, where I will ready a gun in which you will shoot one shot square in the forehead. You cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. So 15-minute difference. All right, cool.
See, critical difference.
No, it's different. It's different. Volant is literally 15 minutes afterwards.
This is the most unusual. Exactly what's going on. What exactly is that trick from our up to?
By which you mean?
I have trouble envisioning men who would assist in the killing. Both of them, no less.
It's just my opinion there, Judge. But from these letters, I'd say he was coercing them, not asking them. We walked the magician's path together, and in doing so, shared much of our lives. When people are so close, there is strain. A warping of relations, you might say. Yet, this has nothing to do with the case at hand. By which you mean you're not going to tell us? Fucking asshole. Which makes me wonder even more about the reason they couldn't refuse.
But Rory will stand accused. Tell us why.
Oh, I'll do more than that. For where he walks, the red rose rise, singing hymns to the miracle that is magic.
dramatic.
That is what?
Dramatic.
Fascinating, though I hardly need to remind you that the evidence could just as clearly point to you as the suspect. The letter for the murder weapon, and now the 2 bullets found at the scene.
Yes, but I told the prosecutor I didn't do it and he believed me.
That's basically how these cases go, huh? It's like, look at all this evidence. Yeah, but he said he was not guilty. Fuck!
Yeah, but he said nuh-uh.
He said nuh.
He said nuh-uh, and we arrested the other guy first, so, like, you know.
He pulled an Uno reverse card on us, actually, believe it or not. Now I'm actually guilty.
In fact, the only difference seems to be the detective at the time.
Yeah, you think? Suspicious, huh, Judge? As every magician knows, timing is everything. Yes, and now it's time to get this party fired up. Ooh, I kind of gave Zachary like one of them old radio show voices, which I'm actually pretty okay with. Not Zach, Valant. I know I gave him a different voice before, but it was too close to Zach, so I'm like, let me switch it up. That night I visited the hospital room at the time Magnifica requested. The smell of gunpowder hung in the room and my mentor had taken his final bow. I did not imagine my fellow student might have received the same instructions. Yet a deal with the dead is still a deal. Death's sweet kiss, I gave it to the clown. Then I informed the doctor and the police.
So you're the one who reported the crime.
Indeed, I would think. This fact alone would clear my name of suspicion. Nope. Let's not jump to any conclusions. If Among Us has taught us anything, just because you reported a murder doesn't mean you didn't actively commit the murder. That is the Among Us lesson we have gotten today. That's all I'm saying.
This question has come before the conclusion of this court, but if your testimony proves to be true, the defendant, Zachary, is guilty.
If it wasn't Zachary, then the killer was you, Valant. And no disappearing act will get you out of that. Which, according to the letter, was at 11:20 p.m. Indeed! In magic, timing is everything. Right. Consider the illusion of teleportation. If I were to appear on stage before my stunt double has left, how would that look? Why, it would reveal the very secrets of my magic, like you just did. Now that you've revealed the very secrets of your magic for all of us to know, let's move on. You were at the designated. You went at the designated time, and what did you see? What did you see? I smelled everything. So, you weren't worried for your own safety at all. I mean, you smelled gunpowder, yeah? What if the shooter was still nearby? Yeah, you're looking mighty suspicious. I did not consider this, to be honest. It is forbidden for a magician to have a good imagination. What? Isn't that the exact opposite of, like, magic? What? Make this make sense. Someone. Really? Isn't magic all about illusion? Thank you! I'm on the same fucking page of Phoenix. That happens way too much. How about this? You were the shooter, in which is why you weren't afraid. Now, you're the one imagining. It is forbidden for a lawyer to have a good imagination. It is not.
The witness will refrain from pausing so suspiciously before...
Judge, thank you for calling him out before I did.
My forbidden imagination is starting to imagine things.
But the fact that Valant is guilty. Which brings us back to this reason neither of you could refuse. So it does, and my partner, he did not refuse. But Magnifi wrote the same thing to you. Why could you refuse if Zach couldn't? Because I had a will of steel, of course. I also do this trick where I bend steel bars, so perhaps steel isn't all so strong. So which is it? Mind if I continue? Oh, no, I pressed the wrong button. two bullet holes at the scene, one in the victim and one in the clown. You're saying the one shot in the clown was you? No doubt my partner Zach has said much the same thing. Yeah, because whoever didn't shoot the clown committed murder. Better dig around here a bit more and see what turns up. Mr. Volant, let me ask you about something else concerning the crime scene, namely... How many pistols were there when you entered the room? By which you mean what, precisely? 2 pistols were used in the Zach and Volant quick draw shoot 'em, right? 1 for each of you. You are well informed, yet only one of my old friends sat in the hospital room that night. What did Zach tell me back in the lobby? First, I had no intention of shooting my mentor. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time and found there upon his bedside 2 pistols. I took the pistol I had fired and placed it in my pocket.
I see no problem with that statement. Only one pistol, flashy.
So you picked up that pistol and fired it? Indeed I did! Alakazam! Alakazing! Alakaboom!
Is the number of pistols really so important?
Quite important. Number of pistols is quite important, Your Honor.
Very well. Please let us see the testimony.
What can I do but obey? For you know what you've done, Volant. Oh, shit. So you took the only pistol there and fired it. That's correct. And that pistol was this one, which was left at the crime scene. Good show, I see. You too are a magician of sorts. And you're an idiot of sorts. Do you have any idea what you just said? I see the fire in your eyes as you glare at the witness. So how about heating this trial up a bit? These slow ballads bore me. I've had 100. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe I should ask about something else. On second thought, let's run with this testimony for a while longer. Yeah. According to the defendant Zach Romare, when he entered the room, there were 2 pistols on the table.
2?
One of those pistols he used to shoot the clown in the forehead. Then he left with it in his pocket. Of course, this is what he would say. Unlike the hapless clown, we must assume our defendant has some brains in his head. Well, what about what Mr. Volant has told us? You see, there's something about his testimony that doesn't make sense. What might that be? I told you I took the pistol that was there and shot the clown. That's your story, at least. But the rifling marks tell a very different story, Mr. Volant. Recall what Prosecutor Gavin had told us. We compared the bullets taken from the victim's skull with the bullet fired from this gun. The rifling marks on the bullets were a perfect match. Ah! Mr. Volant, if you fired this pistol, then you shot the victim in the forehead.
Order! No, this is all rather sudden.
What have I done?
Prosecutor Gavin.
I owe the court an apology. Don't tell me to be like, oh yeah, here's another autopsy. Sorry? Sorry for what? You see, I was unaware that 2 of these unique pistols were crafted. The analysis of the rifling marks only proved the type of gun that fired them. But that's not what you told us before. You said that you verified the murder weapon. Which is why I'm apologizing to you now, quite sincerely I might add. Would you hold me accountable for a mistake made in my youth? Yes. That was just this morning. I'm gonna start saying that at work when it's like in the morning I fuck up and it's gonna be like, hey boss, are you gonna hold me accountable for a mistake I made in my youth? I am still young. And I might add it wasn't really my fault. If the defendant had only admitted he took 1 pistol from the scene of the crime, we would not be having this pleasant discussion now.
Oh, Grimari.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your brother, of course, is decisive witness, but you've proven to be more divisive than decisive.
You'll see in time. The testimony by far has been merely a review of the facts. The proof comes next. When Mr. Vallant entered the hospital room, the victim had already been shot. As his next testimony will prove, Wright, the real fight is about to begin. Bring it.
Very well. This one now testify in the court. Help us determine which shot what.
All you need to do is take that second bullet, do the riffling marks on it, see what that shit's all about, dude. Like, come on. Come on. After discovering the body, I fulfilled my obligation and called in the doctor. The doctor examined the body before the police arrived. He was quite clear about the time of death, 11:10 p.m. And the one in the room at the time was my partner, not me.
Looks like we're rather close. You had to admit. We're talking about an alibi established over a matter of minutes.
Have I been muted this whole time? That's hilarious.
Yeah, you've been muted this whole time.
Incredible.
Did you have anything you wanted to say?
My witty commentary lost to time.
Oh no! Do you remember any of it?
Nothing worth repeating.
Everything's worth repeating. You're the Ace Attorney expert herself, Katie.
I don't remember. I don't even know when I was muted, so I wouldn't even know what I'd already said.
Oh my god. You've been muted, I want to say... most of the time, actually. I just thought you were quiet.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
The last time I responded to you was the last time I heard from you.
When was that? Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's when Elijah came in.
Rip. Sorry, gang.
It's easy to explain with the situation here, Judge. For example, take our debut hit single, 13 Years Hard Time for Love. Cue to the song, press the play button, and it'll play for 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Do it 100 times, the result is the same. The debut single is only 2 minutes, 15 seconds long? What a ripoff! Magic is the most of utmost precision. Hocus pocus requires admirable focus. And in the time of death determined by the doctor, there was an incontrovertible truth.
Oh, the ones that we're dealing with rather precise times. We expect the cross-examination to require the same exact level of precision.
I would hope that the defense refrains from its customarily broad, sweeping accusations, lest we blur the focus on the case that so clearly demands.
Point taken. This is an actual result in the penalty.
Oh, fuck off.
Carry on, Miss Wright.
Carry on. Right. My ass. I'm gonna take a swig of water.
Who shot what?
Who shot what? Yeah. Excuse me. $11:20. Can you prove that's when you arrived? Alas, such a feat may be beyond even the great Vallant. I will not say that you could take a look at the cameras in the hospital. For there was no one in that room but Magnifique, and he was departed after a fashion. I have here the defendant Zach Gramont's sworn deposition. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time. It was 10 minutes before I left the room, and the victim was still alive.
Indicated time of this Zach was 11:05.
Exactly, which means the witness could have not entered that room before 11:15. Because his partner was still in the middle of his crime.
I see so that their arithmetical world.
You see, the defendant himself has corroborated the witness's testimony. Does that all make sense? Not a problem there right now. I don't see any problem with that testimony.
So, let's continue, shall we?
Sometimes the most magical thing of all is the truth. I wonder how Trucy's gonna react when she finds out Zach killed her dad. Zach got her dad in jail, which subsequently ended up killing her. Oh, Zach framed her dad, which subsequently ended up with her dad running away, which subsequently ended up with him being murdered by Gustav. Gavin? No, Gustav. Clavier? Whatever his name was. Constance. No. What's his name? Christoph. No. Yeah, Christoph.
Christoph Gavin.
No, the other guy.
Which guy?
His brother.
Clavier?
Oh, it is Clavier. Okay. God
Sorry, I
damn.
am like tired.
I think what we'll do is after this cross-examination, we'll call it a night for Ace Attorney.
I feel bad. I didn't realize I was muted and I accidentally zone out.
It's all good. Shit happens. You walk in on a murder.
Like, I don't even know when I hit the mute button, because usually I hit it if I need to like talk to someone or something, but like I don't even know. I must have accidentally hit it.
Right when it was literally right after the last thing you said to Elijah, that's when you were muted. So whenever that was.
I feel like no, I must have made some things, because I think you did respond to some things, but I did notice you talking at the same time as me sometimes, so obviously then I was muted.
I imagine like it was one of those moments where it was just like accidentally. It's like the last time I heard you was when you spoke to Elijah, and that was about a while back.
Man,
We'll see on the replay.
we'll find out. I'm afraid to, kind of.
You walk in on a murder and the first thing you do is shoot the clown? I mean, fair. The disciple does what the disciple must. My mentor's request without reason had caused for me sufficient sorrow. Listen, you literally had no reason to shoot the clown.
Perfect.
Not a single one.
I know that word.
Say again?
I don't think I'd ever... I must have seen the word surfeit before, but...
I've never seen it.
I was like, what is it? Well, I must have seen it because I've played this game before.
Yeah. Fair. For what would I, Valant, be now without him? May the soul of Magnifi the Great find greater peace above. This I muttered to myself as I pulled that lonely trigger. Why would you pull the trigger? He can't blackmail you anymore. He can't coerce you anymore. He's fucking dead. Why would you pull that trigger? See, there's so many logical holes in your fucking thing. In any case, I believe this is nothing more than we've already learned. I'm still waiting for one of those right moments, Air Attorney. Yes, Your Honor. What a pain this is turning out to be. Yeah. Did the doctor say anything concerning the cause of death? Why, yes. I believe he screamed, "My God, he's been shot in the head!" That's actually really funny. That's actually really funny. And I would have penned the requiem that arose in my soul at that horrid sight. Whatever happened to good old-fashioned investigations? It's a different game, right? And there's two of them. In any case, I believe this is nothing more than what we've already learned. So waiting for one of those right moments, Air Attorney. Yeah. I don't think I'm stepping out on a limb to say I have some doubts about this. How could a doctor be so precise with the time?
We always said that's true. I'm not sure I've heard of verified time of death.
Magic revels in making the complex appear simple, but truth is really the opposite. What appears complex in this case is a matter of simple subtraction.
The
point here is the IV the victim was taking. It's quite visible in the photograph at the scene. Recall we heard earlier about the victim Magnifi Grimare's schedule. Every night at 11, Magnifi took IV drips for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
God, I'm something in my throat today. Let me take a swig. It's not gonna be sexy at all. I'm just like.
Do you want to just do regular voice for Judge if he's bothering you?
No, I should be good.
I see the IV back there, yes.
Now look a little closer. Follow the tube down from the bag to the end.
The needle's been removed.
Doubtlessly, it fell out when he was shot.
Don't seem to be the case.
When the needle comes out, the IV no longer drips. Ah, you could just measure the remaining IV liquid. Precisely. The IV liquid functions for our purposes as an hourglass of sorts. This is how the doctor determined the time of death. From the amount remaining in the bag, it was determined that the IV had stopped 10 minutes after the administration began.
If a person dies, does the IV... I guess it...
There is a clip at the end of a lot of IV bags and like needles that like stop it from going in, so like...
Well,
Listen, usually for me it's gone the opposite way. I usually just donate blood. I don't get IV often. So I'm not 100% sure on this one.
never mind. I'm a little too out of it to properly reason it anyway.
I do know this. So, because this happened to me when I had COVID. When I went to the hospital, they gave me an IV needle. I didn't get any IV. But basically what it was the actual needle itself was plastic. It was very rubbery and actually moved, so I could bend my arm and stuff. They never did anything with it. They like drew blood once and it was stuck in there for like an hour or two, and I was playing fucking Super Smash Brothers the entire goddamn time. But like, and then they charged me $5,000 for sticking me with a needle, not telling me I could move for the first hour and a half, mind you. They're like, so why are you keeping your arm so straight? Like, I have a needle in there. I can't move it, right? They're like, no, it's rubber. You can move it. Like, what? They're like, yeah, it's only, you know, we take the metal part out when we, I'm like, you motherfuckers. Really? So for the first hour, my arm was just like this the entire fucking time. And here I am playing my fucking, like, Switch at a distance like this the entire fucking time. Anyways. Personal gripes with the hospital that charged me $5,000 for sitting down for 2 hours aside. The bastards. Is that a third of the bag? It looks like a fourth of the bag. Because here's the thing, you're expecting a third of the bag to be taken up, right? Not only that, the bag's markings... Hold on. How much liquid is in an IV bag? Most commonly used IV bags are 1,000 milliliters. There's also 500, 250, and 100 milliliters and 50 milliliter bags. The size of the bag primarily functions. All right, let me see a picture. Okay. All right, so it is actually like filled to the fucking brim. Okay. But the thing is, the labeling starts on the top here. That would be the 1,000 milliliters. Why is the labeling showing 1,000 milliliters full? This doesn't look right. This looks very sus. Especially considering there's oftentimes a dip, but it's also like so... You know what? I'm gonna just see how this... I feel like there's a contradiction somewhere in there. "10 minutes had passed since the horrific crime had been committed. And this is proof."
Move along.
That seem important?
Just the old-fashioned Ace Attorney music instead of Jack Colliers. It always hits good.
I'm guessing it's important. Well, seeing how it is the biggest clue we have to the time of death, I'd say it's very important.
Agreed. It would appear to have more precisely the way to determine the time. Feel the power of arithmetic. Bro, witness will add this to the details of the testimony.
Sometimes the most magical thing of all is the truth. I want to hit this man. Just say the last part of it. The water of life springs not eternal. The remaining IV liquid proves my innocence. Did you notice the IV yourself by any chance? When I first entered that room, the stench of gunpowder assailed me. Next, the mark of death upon my mentor's forehead, and then his left arm did I spy a rose drooping and wilted. Its thorn, the discarded IV needle. Knocked from the vein by the force of the shot, luckily for you.
Is that how that works?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's how it works at fucking all. If he had not been there, why, you might be a suspect. Indubitably so. I might say it's thanks to my lucky color. Your lucky color? Indeed, even today I wear it proudly upon my suspect self, for it always, without fail, brings me luck. Why, when Zack and Valant won their first Magician's Grand Prix, yes, the very one held the association by the International Magicians, I was adorned in this attire too, and our trophy was a bust. Ah, what a day it was. This is one trip down memory lane no one needs. My lucky color, yes indeed, and that IV too. I say I think 'twas hued, especially for me, Valant. Valant sure seems to be happy with himself. Okay, how about this? Lucky color testimony. What's your lucky color? Are you talking about the thing being your lucky color? Hold on. Let's see what this is. No. I don't see any problem with that testimony. Oh, yeah. Fuck off. I have to listen to that one more time. Okay. He's saying that the IV was hued yellow. He himself is wearing green. Let's press him again.
He himself is wearing yellow, you mean?
Yeah, say thank you. He's wearing yellow, the bag is green. So he just changed the IV, okay. It really sounds like your lucky colors brought you plenty of luck. But not this time. Mr. Valant, your lucky color betrayed you. I'm afraid you've lost me. Your Honor, the witness's testimony just now clearly contradicts the evidence.
What? This will come everyone to discuss examination this way. This is all independently. The accusations were based.
Don't worry about all your bases right here.
Very well, let's hear the defense's claim. Here's the contradictions of the laws told us.
The crime scene tells us all, Your Honor.
Photo of the crime scene.
All this talk of color has me yearning for black and white, clear-cut simplicity. Tell us, Sir Wright, just where's the contradiction in this photograph? My pleasure. And I assure you, it's quite simple. We can't promise anything in black and white. Yeah, let's get on to it. Well, Uncle Mari, let's get one thing straight about your lucky color. It's yellow, yes? Kinda takes the mystery out of it, but yes!
Right.
Yes, there is. Decisively wrong, in fact. Take another look at the photograph of the crime scene.
What's this?
Confusion, doubt, tell us. What do your elderly eyes spy? Tell us, Nicholas, what do your elfin eyes spy? Even my
older eyes see it, put on here. But there's a lot. Look at the everywhere.
Ah! What is this? What foul magic? It would be hard to call the IV liquid yellow. And I'm afraid no magic was involved in taking the photograph. Ah! Alacas! Alacas! No! Look at all the bunnies here. Oh my god. That's a lot of bunnies and birds. Oh my god. There's so many bunnies. This is some kind of mistake. The greener they are, the harder they fall. I suppose there's no substitute for experience. Well, Grimari, as you reminded us several times, your lucky color is yellow, but the IV is clearly not. But, well... This contradiction can mean only one thing. And to think you almost had me. I see your true colors now, Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright. Roll credits! Yes, a contradiction. One that I shall be pleased to hand right back at Mr. Wright. How do you mean? How? Because the witness has made no mistakes. I agree at a glance, the IV does appear to be sort of greenish yellow. Oh, come on. Greenish yellow? You want to take a fucking, like, pointer clicker and, like, see what that color is on the fucking, like, you know, art program?
Well, actually, see...
Listen, the background behind you is yellow. That thing's fucking green. But I tell you, the liquid itself is quite yellow.
Yellow liquid. Oh, look at that. For everything in this photo, it's green.
Yes, but what color is the IV bag itself? The IV bag? You mean the plastic on the book?
Looks like a... I want you to say light blue.
Precisely. Figured it out yet? Put yellow liquid in the blue bag and... you get green? This, incidentally, is the liquid's true color.
That
doesn't change anything! As I thought. There's no substitute for experienced Prosecutor Gavin. What? You may tell a good tale, but you've just proven something rather grave, for you that is. Grave? The liquid in the IV is yellow, yes. But how did this witness know that? It's quite unnatural when you think about it. You did think about it, didn't you? Ah. Your Honor, the defense requests an explanation from the witness. At the scene of the crime, the IV liquid appears to be green. So let me ask, how did the witness know the IV liquid was actually yellow? Alacus, oh my god! They really just fucking OMG this guy? Come on.
Look, you will say this at once. When I say another color, that you like. So something. Put what?
I can think of only one possibility, Your Honor. The witness, Valen Grimare, has testified that the IV bag was yellow because he knew the IV liquid's color. From the facts before us, the answer's clear. The witness knew that the IV color was yellow. Why? Because he'd seen it before. But not just inside the blue bag. We've seen the photo. He saw the liquid by itself in the clear, colorless bag. Ask yourself, why would he know if he didn't work at a hospital?
Your Honor, he's actually a doctor.
That's where you'll find your meaning, Your Honor. I'm afraid I find nothing, so what if he knew about the IV color liquid? Leave the getting excited over, absolutely for nothing of our T-Booper fans, yeah? The IV liquid is the only evidence proving the time of death. A 30-minute hourglass with 20 minutes worth of sand remaining. Your claim, Prosecutor Gavin. However, there's a critical difference between an hourglass and an IV bag.
No, an hourglass is a sun.
Yes.
I'm right?
The music's stopping.
Those are the pains me to say this, Your Honor. No. Unlike the sand, the music comes back. Unlike the sands through an hourglass, IV liquid enters the patient's body, at which point, like magic, it disappears. However, With that amount of IV liquid, what if that amount of IV liquid had increased? You couldn't tell, could you? After all, there's no way of knowing how much went in. Let me get this straight, Wright. You're saying the witness watered down the victim's IV bag. Not with water, but with IV liquid. That's how you knew the IV liquid was yellow.
Now, wait! I said wait! How might an amateur such as myself essay to perform such a task?
I'm an amateur too, but I can pour water into a cup. I'm afraid there's quite a big difference between a cup and an IV bag. Quite. Can you prove our witness is capable of such feats?
He's a point answers. This would have some little before my feeling.
You don't need to be an expert to see the look on the witness's face. He added liquid to the IV to throw off the time of death. I tire of these fairy tales lacking evidence. Valakramare, I'm afraid your magic won't serve you well in the life of crime.
When I ask what you're strongly suggesting.
Magic relies on props, and props become evidence. Our witness was certainly able to increase the amount of IV liquid in the bag. All he had to do was work with a little magic, and the prop was...
Looking strange.
It's a perfect prop for a magically increasing IV bag trick. It's easy enough for an amateur to use. What kind of evidence is that? The syringe was clean, not a trace of liquid in it. Don't you find that odd, Prosecutor Gavin? What? The victim had a syringe to administer his insulin shots. There should have been traces of insulin left inside. Good point, actually. Well, Valakramare, as you pointed out, yourself, the IV liquid makes the perfect clock. One that could be manipulated at will.
Alakazak!
I love those bunnies, they're so cute.
They are really fucking cute. They can do little nose boopies too.
How could you use Bunny for evil?
I know, right?
You believe well with us being at first. The burden of this trial has been a bit much to bear for Prosecutor Gavin. As it was their step for the mountain of illegal neglect. The time of death cannot be proven. And that brings our trial to a close for today.
Oh, maybe I can squeeze an extra day out of this. I can do a little much needed investigation work.
There's no vessels. The court is adjourned.
Okay. Truly, there's no substitute for experience. Nothing blinds one to the truth so effectively. A word to the wise, underestimate the young and they'll sweep your feet from out under you. In a way you never expected. You see, I know exactly what you're thinking. What's he talking about? You'll say the witness used a syringe to manipulate the level of IV liquid, but there's no proof. There's no proof he didn't do it either. Yes, quite true. Admitting it? Nor was the witness quite as decisive as I hoped. This I admit, however, why linger in the past when the future holds so much? Proof, fair judge. I have another way to prove my case. With evidence no less. This is the victim Magnifi's grandmother's diary. Diary? After going to the hospital, the Magnifi began writing his memoirs, it seems. The story of his birth, his startling debut, and of meeting his disciples. It seems he intended for the last chapter to end, quite appropriately, with his death. Wait, that book doesn't say what the reason was, does it? The reason why his disciples couldn't refuse his last request? Sadly, it does not. What's important here is on the last page, apparently the victim wrote in his journal that night, even after the IV had begun at 11 p.m. Let's read it, shall we? That's IV and maybe the last. I give the rest on the fresh account. The journal may end here as we go on friends. Does appear to have been written just before the death. And what does that ripped piece of paper say? Oh, this is the forged evidence. Oh, this is the forged evidence. Are we close to the end out of curiosity of this part?
I think we're not terribly far away, I think. I think we can keep going.
Alright.
For a little bit.
Oh no, I was gonna say after we get the, I was gonna say at the next cross-examination, we'll just end it there. And we'll get the rest of it later.
Right, we'll see where we're at.
Yeah. Oh my god. Read the very last page with particular care. This journal may end here or may go on, but not long that depends on his hand. Of course, by his. He refers to our defendant, Zakumari.
Yes. He's the first question to answer.
Look what we said before that. This journal may end here or it may go on. It may go on. Zakumari intended to write again. That is, if Zakumari didn't pull the trigger. See, the defense understands the meaning of this. The victim's diary does not go on. It ends. Because McNiffy's life was brought to an end by the defendant, Zakumari. There's no mistaking his handwriting.
Nope, that's actually go to this. We didn't have to continue his diary. Yep, so I'm sure it's plainly dead.
Then the one who pulled the trigger was the first visitor, Zakumari. Well, how do you like me now, Wright? Still too green for your taste, He's right about the diary being pretty clear. Still, I find it hard to believe that he'd overlook such an obvious problem with his precious evidence.
Seems quite sufficient for hers.
The diary is accepted like this, the trial's over. Maybe it's time for me to show them something. I'm left with no choice but to show my own evidence. It's not too late to rethink and avoid this more embarrassment. Incidentally, don't even think of showing us this diary I've shown you in court. Now that we've come this far, I hope you have something more decisive. Show us evidence that proves the victim's continued writing in his diary.
So, like, don't even try and weasel out of presenting what you know you have to present, doll.
Yeah.
Don't even try and break the timeline.
The evidence proving that his diary didn't end this page is... First, take a close look at the... Oh, come on. Note that the page has been ripped out.
What's this? I hadn't noticed that at all.
That's why we're still here talking about this. As it so happens, I have here with me what I believe to be the missing page. Alec, I don't believe it! Looking at this page, it's hard to imagine that he, the first visitor that night, shot Magnificomari. That's the defense's position.
Wait, no, what in the Sam Hill? This is the continuation of the diary.
Note the torn edge of the page. Perfect match for the torn remains of the last page of Magnifi's diary. Quite remarkable! Would you care to explain what all this means, Air Attorney? The diary continued after his first visitor came, which means that the victim was still alive after Zakumari left, leaving no one to take his life but the second visitor. Zakumari! Now! Now!
Handwriting matches that on the other pages. This is without a doubt the genuine article.
But wait, that's impossible! That old man couldn't have written that. Now, I want to hear what he was going to say. Finally, you just couldn't resist, could you, Wright? Resist what? Presenting solid evidence? Herr Judge? Might I request we put the current cross-examination on hold? The prosecution would like to call a new witness. I asked only to put it on hold, please. My new witness has a very, very important piece of testimony to give. 5 minutes, no more. I promise. Your Honor. Well, Your Honor, judging from his enthusiasm, we'll have to hear his new testimony sooner or later anyway. But might as well be sooner.
We'll put this current cross-examination on hold. Miss Lee, step down. Now, Prosecutor Gavin, please bring the surprise witness to the courtroom.
I had a bad feeling just then. The ripped-out page was too obvious. He must have known. And I should have known it was a bad sign all around. Ah.
Oog.
I beg the court's understanding. But I had to make a judiciary deal with the witness to secure his testimony. A judiciary deal? The details of his testimony may have some legal ramifications, shall we say. I thought it'd be best to contain the information in this courtroom.
Very well. You're a witness, brother. Yeah, sure.
State your name and occupation for the record.
My name is Drew Misham. I'm a painter. Painter? No, well, not per se.
I have one simple question for this witness. Mr. Misham, was it? Do you know what this is?
Oh, yeah. I know very well.
How is that possible?
Have you seen this diary page somewhere before? Oh, yeah. I mean, I made it.
You what? You made it?
Yes. You might call it one of my works.
The prosecutor's office received a tip-off yesterday. Illegal evidence has been prepared for the trial of Zachary.
Illegal? Illegal evidence?
I initiated an investigation and found this witness, a painter to the world at large. Drew Misham has another side, you might say. He's skilled in making perfect reproductions of certain things. Forgeries, in other words. Forgeries? A fake. Prepared by a certain defense attorney. Hold it! I didn't prepare this evidence. Ah, the attorney speaks. Something about this page, I presume, but what is he saying? It makes no sense. After all, it was you who presented this evidence to us, Phoenix Wright.
Come across on this forgery. Who's the client? That, I don't know.
What?
Most of my clients prefer to remain anonymous, even to me. I make the items they want and receive my payment. As they said in my contract with them.
But there's no proof this is a fake.
It's a fake.
Huh?
To avoid just this sort of problem, I always put a special mark on my works. All I can say is without a doubt, this is mine.
Fuck you, Drew Misham.
Mr. Wright, you are just presented illegal evidence to this court, my court.
It was careless of me.
Sentence.
That's all I could say. Yeah, we're just doing it out there. It was all a trap, a fatal trap.
Mr. Wright,
Yes,
you are disabling yourself.
if I did, would the court hear it?
Come on now. What is that for a serious crime? Presenting at the court in serious state. Reporting yourself from the public.
Fatal too, perhaps for your client, I fear. Tell me what kind of defendant relies on forged evidence. The answer is quite clear. A guilty one. Your Honor, wait. I understand that presenting forged evidence in court is a serious crime. You cannot hold my client responsible for the actions I undertook as an individual.
But what if I did?
Yeah.
But what if I did?
Your Honor? Another close call, I dare say. If the prosecutor's office hadn't received that hot tip, everything would have gone the way you'd wanted to, Ja. I even gave you a chance. Too bad you decided not to think before embarrassing yourself.
What is this? Mr. Attorney?
Yes.
Can I ask your name?
Phoenix Wright.
Mr. Wright, I have seen and studied many people, but none like you. I'll remember you, Mr. Wright. But you know what having the clear this way. This trial is over. I'd like to find a new attorney and make an appeal. However, this court must.
Your Honor. There is one thing I wish to make clear. Today, in this courtroom, you cannot declare me guilty. It is impossible. Except, tell me, how do you plan on announcing your verdict when your defendant does not exist? He's gonna make himself disappear. I'm talking about this! Mr. Enigmar! The defendant escaped. Find him quick. That day in that courtroom, a miracle occurred. The defendant, Shadi Enigmar, aka Zakamari, did not just escape from the court. He literally unbelievably vanished. Right before the bailiff's eyes. No one ever saw him again, not since that day. This is the Grimari miracle. No verdict was declared. After all, the defendant didn't exist. That's how it happened. The trial of magician Jacques Grimari vanished along with him for all eternity. The mysteries that remained behind were all solved, however, but not until 7 years later. There we go.
To be continued.
To be continued. Fair enough place to end for today. Guys, I will be back in just a moment to do more streaming. I don't know what I'll be streaming yet. But if you guys are watching this on YouTube as a VOD, thank you very much for watching this YouTube. I hope you had a good one. YouTube, stay safe, stay Botanist Cool. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.